have reports that there may still be people trapped inside. This is still a rescue operation, but we have shifted from our immediate operation where everything was happening very quickly and people were in and out of the scene very quickly. The technical rescue operation we're undertaking now is much more slow and methodical. We have to make sure that the building is safe for our people to enter so we can go in and make sure that nobody else is in there. It's going to be a long, drawn-out operation, again, because it's such a methodical process to get people inside safely. So, again, I don't have much more to update other than that. It is a very hot day today. Our members have been on scene here for almost 2 hours. We are rotating companies through as we are able to make sure that we are keeping our guys and girls safe so that we can operate and continue to operate effectively.
How many cars were involved?
I don't have an exact number. There was one car that was involved in the collapse, and I don't know the circumstances of what led that car to be there, whether it was parked there or how it got there, but there was one car in the area where the collapse occurred.
Okay, so when you say trapped inside, do you mean trapped inside the home or the car?
Right now, our operation is focusing on the home. There was one patient trapped inside the vehicle when we arrived. They were able to extricate that patient, got them to medical care, and they have since been transported from the scene.
Can you describe their injuries?
I can't at this time.
But is anyone still trapped in the home at this time?
We don't know that. We are operating under the assumption that there may possibly still be people in there. So again, that's why we're undertaking this technical rescue operation to get inside, just confirm that there's no one trapped.
Was everyone inside the house at the time?
I don't know.
What kind of intel makes you operate that there are possibly people left?
Reports from people at the scene, reports from neighbors about how many people live at the house, and anytime those numbers don't kind of add up to the numbers that we have confirmed out of the house, we just want to make sure that there's nobody there. And while we're doing this, simultaneously, we're working with police, we're working with codes to ensure that, somebody that's normally there isn't at a friend's house or at a relative's house. But again, until we can confirm that the house is clear, we're going to operate in that technical rescue mode, and it is a long, methodical process to do it safely.
Would you explain why there's some firefighters on the roof and what's going on in the tents in terms of building support?
So in the tents there, anytime we enter a collapsed structure, we have to shore up the structure as we go so that it doesn't collapse further when we're in there. The guys on the roof are just kind of monitoring the scene from a different vantage point. We did have some little maybe indications that there were spot fires inside. So anytime we're going to be operating inside where there's a potential for fire, where there's a potential for further collapse, we want to be as safe as we can. And the guys on the roof are there a part of maintaining that safety. They can kind of get a different view of things as they're happening and be ready to act as soon as something happens rather than having to be reactionary and maybe delaying.
And again, why is
with the heat?
It's very hot out. Like I said, our guys, we're rotating people through. We're bringing additional companies from across the city in and rotating people out. We've got water stations. We've got cooling stations set up. But any time we're talking about heat like this, it kind of multiplies the difficulty of the incident exponentially.
And again, why are they, you might have already answered this, but why are they digging up the ground?
National Grid is digging there to confirm that we have gas to the structure shut off. And I know somebody at the blue tents is where they're cutting the shore.
Can you confirm what level of fire was involved? People have talked about a ball of fire, and I just wonder if any fire leader has confirmed that that's true.
All I can confirm is that when our units arrived, we did have some light smoke from the structure. We do have charged hose lines with water available should we encounter fire inside. But we've been here over 2 hours. Obviously, we don't have an indication of heavy fire inside. So at this point, it's more of a precaution, just kind of monitoring the situation and being prepared if we do come across something.
And you're here with the mayor, Mayor Walsh. What would you say to the city community right now as this happens in this neighborhood?
Well, I think we should all be grateful for the quick response of the Syracuse Fire Department, Police Department, other responding agencies, AMRs here, National Grid's here. We have personnel from Codes and DPW here, certainly thinking about and praying for the victims right now. We have as much information as we can share at this point, other than, we're also running reports on the property. As of right now, it does not appear we had any open code violations on the property. We have had DPW personnel working on this block in recent days and weeks. No observations out of the ordinary. So again, right now, just thinking about the victims and grateful for our first responders.
What would you say to the families and neighbors who are in this area?
Well, pray. I think as a community we all need to pray for the victims, and again, grateful for the first responders. But this is still a very active scene. There's still a lot we don't know. We're going to learn a lot. Please take all the information we're sharing with you as the best information we have at this time. It very well may change. We're collecting it as quickly as possible. Most important thing I think right now is to make sure that if there's anybody else in the structure that they are rescued.
Compared to other house fires that you've seen since being in this position, where would this one rank as far as the amount of people who were inside that home?
This is a tragic situation, regardless of the final outcome. We had many people hurt. This is a situation that I personally haven't observed. Certainly nothing to this extent in terms of an explosion or the number of victims. But again, there's still a lot that we need to learn. So I'm going to not come to any final conclusions, but again, just pray for the victims, pray for our first responders as they go through this very delicate and difficult recovery process.
What would you say about the firefighters who are out here breathing this heat?
It's a tough day. This is probably the toughest day of the year to be out doing this work. They train for it, but again, nothing compares to actually being here. We're bringing in a lot of water. We're taking care of our firefighters, but again, it's a very active situation and still very dangerous. Thank you all.